In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. I was watching a movie while I ate my dinner. Well, I should say dinners, because it took 3 days before I finally finished it. Not the dinner, the movie. It was called An Interview with God. You might have seen it, it's on Netflix. And in it, a young reporter who covers religion for a secular newspaper is granted 3 30-minute interviews with God. Now, God is played by David Strathairn, who portrays God as what I would say is a rather dapper, genteel intellectual. And I realized later, after I wrote this and sent it to everyone, I wrote Gentile intellectual. And there's some truth to that in the trail as well, but anyway. It's always fun to see whom they will get to act the part of God and how that person will perform the role. Strathairn, I think, was a good choice, as he's the descendant of English, Scottish, Irish, Portuguese, Native Hawaiian, and Chinese ancestors. Not quite the whole world, but he's working on it. You know? The interview format of the plot produced many great quotes, but the one I want from God. But the one I wanted to share with you today is this: life is not a dress rehearsal for the afterlife. Life is not a dress rehearsal for the afterlife. We are, in other words, not here to prove to God or to anyone else what good citizens of heaven we would make. You know, oh, pick me, pick me. We're all children of God, all loved by God. We're here to learn and to grow, not to prove ourselves. And I'm sure you all remember that poor kid in elementary school who, no matter what we were doing, thought it was a competition. That he had to get the teacher's praise for his finger painting, his potato print, remember potato prints? His handwriting, and everything else. This is not what the world is about. It's about getting a little dirty and learning our lessons about how to love and how to live lives of grace. And Paul was like that young finger painter before he was knocked off his horse and blinded by God and given a little course correction. Paul writes that he was the very model of a proper person. If anyone else has reason to be confident in the flesh, Paul explains, I have more. And just a side note, what Paul means by flesh is very close to what we mean by when we say ego. It's that sense of ourself as separate from God. He continues, he was circumcised on the 8th day, a member of the people of Israel, of the tribe of Benjamin, a Hebrew born of Hebrews. In other words, he's saying he was not a convert, he was not a secular Jew. He continues, as to the law, a Pharisee, as to zeal, a persecutor of the church, as to righteousness under the law, blameless. He kept all the laws and zealously went after those who did not. He was very good at regulating other people's behavior and pointing out other people's faults. And he counts all this as, well, rubbish is what our translation has, as ultimately pointless. He had, in other words, missed the point, like the child who wanted to create the right potato print rather than focusing on the process of expressing himself through the potato print. We do not get love from obedience. We get obedience from love. The best outcomes occur, in other words, when we start by loving others. I was reading an article by David Brooks. And he was writing about Canadian towns. It started in Canadian towns, working on their own locality, ending poverty by getting together roughly 25 people who are living in poverty, with about 75 people from business, nonprofits, and government. And for a year, all they do is talk about how to reduce the number of people who are poor. Then they consider further how to eradicate poverty. Finally, they go even farther than that and consider what a vibrant community looks like in which everyone's basic needs are met. And they're having success. He writes that the town plans feature a lot of collaborative activity. A food pantry might turn itself into a job training center by allowing the people who are fed to do the actual work. The pantry might connect with local businesses to change their hiring practices so that high school degrees are not required. Businesses might pledge to raise the minimum wage. all is working together to make the community better for everyone. When we do the loving thing and work together, the results can be remarkable. But we have to be willing to change the rules. We have to be willing to put people before ideology and see what works, like a good American pragmatist. Unlike the early Paul, he was all about imposing ideology. He knew what was right and would make everyone follow it. Unlike that, Christ was very improper. He kept transgressing boundaries and doing things that others disliked because he put love first. He broke bread with sinners, overturned tables, healed on the Sabbath, spoke with Samaritan women. He was a very naughty boy. He broke the Jewish laws repeatedly. He loved, and that led him to true righteousness. That led him to true obedience. Of course, we've domesticated his image in 2,000 years. We've turned him into a symbol of rigid obedience. God cannot be contained in a box or derived from rules. God is not an equation or a fact. God is love. And the entire creation is an expression of that love. Love flows through every grain of sand. Even that grain of sand in your foyer right now. We can either follow the flow of God and see where it leads us, or we can struggle against it and set our own course and make things be what we think they should be. And that's exactly what Judas did. Now, Mary of Bethany, who along with her siblings Martha and Lazarus were among Jesus' closest friends, Mary takes a pound of costly nard to anoint Jesus out of love. Nard, I had to look that up. Nard was made from an aromatic plant, the spikenard, which was found only in India, China, and Tibet. So it was not easy to obtain, and it had to be transported a great distance. If Judas is correct, that nard was worth 300 denarii. That's about 300 days' wages. Judas criticizes that it could have been sold and money given to the poor. Very righteous, right? John editorializes that Judas was a thief and really wanted to have some of the money for himself. But whether or not this was Judas' motivation, Jesus simply takes him at his word and responds that the poor will always be with us, but he will not. In other words, Jesus honors the generosity, the love of Mary's act. Now, had Mary been using that nard to make herself look good, to prove herself worthy of heaven, Jesus would not have been so accepting. But Jesus knows Mary. He knows her intentions. And it's actually Judas who is showing off, who is being holier than thou. Look at me. I know better than Mary what to do with that nard. And Judas, known in his heart that God loved him, he could have shared in that joy of Mary's beautiful act. But Judas does not realize that God loves him, and therefore feels he has something to prove. He wants to demonstrate his ethical superiority, to get God's attention, to succeed at this dress rehearsal of life that he thinks he's in. Like most of us, Judas was not able to embrace fully that love, to believe it wholly. He needed something more concrete, something more readily exhibited in front of others. It was possibly because Christ refused to indulge Judas' need to feel superior, but instead simply loved him, that Judas turned on him. In other words, Christ never said, "Yes, Judas, your potato print is the best." Judas is thinking, "Give me affirmation of my righteousness, Jesus." And Jesus is essentially responding, "I cannot affirm your attempts to be superior, but I can love you." That was not what Judas wanted. He thought life was a dress rehearsal. But we're not in a play. We're in a conversation with God.